Welcome to Walletopia. We appreciate you being here. As always, go to Walletopia to info register. You won't regret that. And remember, this is where you go, this channel, Walletopia, when you want to know anything and everything there is about the world of wallets. And today, we have got the Carl Friedrik Swanfield wallet. Lots of requests for this one. And so, well, let's just get into it. Lots of requests for this one. We reviewed the Hatton previously. We have others that we'll be reviewing, but the Swanfield seems to be what most people are looking for. I like the just kind of the matte feel, as well as this just clean look in Carl Friedrik packaging. You know, the black interior, this gray exterior. It has this simplicity of the cutouts here that actually holds the wallet. You take this out and you see that's black there as well. It's just cool minimalism in this packaging that I really like. Now with the wallet itself, here we go. This is the cognac color. Love this. Good feel for the sewing that's here. Good feel to it. Nice leather. Great texture and variety here. We'll talk about that. This is just a great looking and feeling wallet. On to the feature review of the Carl Friedrik Swanfield. If we look at the Swanfield on the exterior, we have one feature. We have a card slot here, which is great. I think every wallet should have an external card slot, bifolds especially. If we go to the interior, on the left-hand side, we have 3 card slots. One is one that actually has a separate piece of leather that inserts in the bottom, and above it, we have 2 card slits. They're not really slots. They are slits in the leather, as you can see there, that allow the cards to rest in these 2 spaces. Now behind it, we have these rear card slots, or for cash here. And on the right-hand side, it also has one in the rear, but then one more card slot on top of it here in a horizontal or landscape mode that has it rest here. And with that, we have a review of the features of the Carl Friedrik Swanfield wallet. Now into the card and cash insertion test. You saw I got 6 cards, 2 in the right horizontal slot, and the rest just 1 in each of those other additional slots. And I got 4 slips of US currency, no yen, and only euros. 20 and lower will work. Anything bigger, it just doesn't. Kind of funny since this is made in Europe. Anyway, from a minimalist perspective, probably 4 cards. 6 is reasonable, like I had in here, and the company recommends up to 7. So I was kind of pushing the upper end of that. Now, from a comfortable perspective with bills, it also fits business cards just fine. I mean, 3, 4, 5, really it comes down to what you'd like to do. Now, I wish the measurements on this design would have added just a few millimeters needed to comfortably fit all Euro notes in there, and really all foreign notes, especially since Carl Friedrik, like I mentioned, is a European manufacturer. Now, from a quality perspective, this is designed in London and made in Italy. And I'm going to walk you through the quality components of this that not all people see. Now, this is made in Naples, Italy by 3rd generation family leather crafting business. It's been there, well, 3 generations. This is a full grain veg tanned vachetta leather by Artigiano di Cuio, which is the craftsman of leather in Tuscany. The single filament thread in here really provides durability and a strong experience so that the leather pieces don't come apart. Especially these stress points here where the leather meets. Right here. So stress points on these locations here is where you see more thread, of course, and you'd expect that. And that's what helps prevent it from coming apart over time as you're separating, getting into cards and cash and those kinds of things. It just really rests well. One thing I wanted to note here as well is how the card slits in the back here function. This was by design. You can say, well, geez, why don't they step themselves up? Well, it's not how it works, because we don't have separate pieces of leather, which was done here on purpose to keep it thin. So you have them lined up with each other. If you're aware of that, then that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a defect of the wallet itself. Now, the edge treatment on this really is something to talk about. This is different than what you see in most wallets. Let me show you. They call this a brushed raw edge. And you can see that it's nicely burnished on this edge. All the edges that are exposed here. And it almost looks like it's painted. It is so smooth that it almost looks like it's painted, but it's not. This is rock solid, and I don't say it's hard in a bad way, but most painted edges, of course, they have a lot of flexibility. You put your finger nail into it and you can see the indentation. You don't have that here. This is just a beautiful burnishing with an edging that is, well, it's a brushed raw edge apparently, and it just is fantastic. I'm convinced that this will be very durable on these edges, really due to this specialized treatment. Again, another thing on detail here comes to how the finish was done, even on things that you don't quite look at all that often. Let me show you. So of course we have the creases in the edges here on the sides of, on the front of each of these cuts in these pockets. That is attention to detail. That takes work. That just doesn't happen. And then also you can see the burnishing on the edges of these smaller leather pieces for even the pockets. These are burnished here as well, which is just an attention to detail that makes this wallet stand out. And of course, there is textural detail beyond that. So of course we have the burnished edges we talked about, but because this leather wraps around, you have this wrap leather interface here too, which just gives it great character and just a wonderful thing to look at and to feel. Now, of course, this isn't all just about quality. Well, it is, but there's also usability in here. One feature is this cutout right here. I mean, you're going, well, that's kind of interesting, but really it helps from pulling cards out. As you can see right here, if I put a card in here, if I didn't have that there, I mean, I'm having to grab this with my fingertips over here in the corner. With this here, it provides a thumb pull and access. I mean, it's just not just there for decoration, although it really looks good. It is there for practicality to be able to pull cards out with the thumb. Now, the price on it is $85. It does come to you semi-broken in because it's folded like this in the box that it comes to you in. So it lays flat. This leather is so nice, and the leather, of course, is a finished leather on the interior that you can see right here. This is a finished leather, not a fleshed side on this wallet. It goes all the way to the back. And so you have a finished leather on both sides, not just flesh on this back piece, and just provides a nice touch to it. Now, when I read reviews of owners to see their experience, it always makes me shake my head when a customer complains about how the leather shows scuffs and scratches after just a few days. Well, of course it will. It's veg tan, full grain leather. That's what happens, and it adds to the character of the wallet. I mean, if you don't want to have scratches and scuffs on your wallet, then go buy something that's plastic, because that's the only thing you're going to get with that. Now, it does measure 4.1 by 2.8 by 0.4 and weighs 47 grams. Now, of course, our perception, my perception of Carl Friedrik is very high. It's a Swedish company formed by two brothers who, like most companies these days, they found something on something they didn't like, and they wanted to create something better, and that's how most businesses are started these days. Very common reason, and no different for these folks too. They produce wonderfully made, high-quality products that are incredibly functional compared to other boutique leather brands. They offer a lifetime warranty covering repairs or replacement for functional damage of this product, which is a nice thing to see. Again, demonstrates the quality of the products and that they manufacture and their commitment to what they create. So now let's get on to the final score. For quality of 5, price of 3, features of 4, usability of 3, and perception of 5. That gives us a final score of 40 out of 50. Again, you can go to walletopia.info/rankings or click this button up here to go see all the rankings of the wallets that we've reviewed, or look at these other videos. We'll see you in the next review. Thanks again.